And here we go.
Lay. Sir. Yeah. Yeah.
Kane is in the building.
Already the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come to the show goes on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Off the Dome Sports Podcast, your favorite sports podcast where two, now three, sports lovers give their hot takes off the dome. If you're watching us right now live, we appreciate you watching us from Radio House Studios on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. If you're listening in, chances are you're on newrockradio.us. Newrockradio.us, streaming your favorite rock music 24/7, 365. We also have newcountryradio.us for country music lovers like myself. It's a great platform, listening to over 600 country songs on that playlist. Definitely check that one out. We also have our own Facebook and YouTube channels for the podcast. You can find those at Off the Dome Sports Podcast. We also have a Twitter account at @off_the_dome pod. We want to thank our first sponsor, Fatty's Restaurant on Museum Street in Garyville. Fatty's always offering great food, great atmosphere, and some great music Monday through Friday for lunch. If you want to get in contact with them, you can shoot them a little message on Facebook, or you can contact them at 985-535-5555. Thanks again, Fatty's in Garyville. We appreciate you. If you're looking to sponsor the Off the Dome Sports Podcast, go ahead, shoot an email at studio@newrockradio.us or message us through our Facebook page or newrockradio.us Facebook page. Now,
This might have been the fastest we've gotten a comment,
a comment already.
and it's both your family.
This is going to be This is
Love
going to
me
be
some-
phenomenal. What a fun group of guys. Thank you, Gerald. Thank you, Mom. Your favorite here, right here. If y'all don't know who this is our buddy Adam, Mr. Lottober, baseball
Lottober,
extraordinaire.
baby.
Hello, beautiful.
How we doing
Hello,
today, Lot?
gorgeous.
How we doing?
I'm doing great, man.
Getting the lot out.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Baseball playoffs start tomorrow. We have Thursday night football tonight.
Let's
we have
go.
LSU on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Saints
At
on
11
Sunday.
a.m. Let's
go.
That's what I'm saying,
Mr.
dude.
Lottober.
Let's get excited.
I love
for
the
some
energy.
Sports.
Let's get right into that LSU, man. Like you were saying, 11 a.m., LSU Tigers taking on the Tennessee Volunteers. Top 25 matchup. LSU's number 25, Tennessee's number 8.
Finally on the board.
Finally on the board, baby. Can't ask for much more. But, yeah, 11 a.m., that's going to be rough.
That's early as hell. I'm not
It's
gonna
going to
lie.
be a lot of traffic in Baton Rouge. We all three live in Baton Rouge, so we're all going to feel it.
I ain't gonna be there. I'm going on a bachelor trip. So
Oh, okay.
we gonna turn up.
All right. Anyway, Tennessee opening as 3-point favorites against LSU this weekend.
Yeah, that's a lot closer than I
Then
would
you-
have thought.
Me too. I agree.
Tennessee's a good team.
Tennessee's really good. Tennessee's undefeated right now. Looking like they're,
Not only is Tennessee good, I think LSU is not good.
okay. He is an
Already.
LSU student, so we're not gonna pay attention to that. He is anti-bias for some reason. Don't know what's going on.
Well, if y'all, of course, y'all don't know a lot like we do, but he's known for his hot takes.
That is what he does.
What? My
It-
hot takes are normal takes. They just think they're hot because they're not enlightened like I am. Right?
You see why we wanted him on here. His personality's great.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, of course. Last week, LSU coming off a hard-fought victory against Auburn. Game they didn't look like they were going to win. Ended up winning anyway. We're down 17-0 at one point. We are the better Tigers.
Oh, absolutely.
And Coy Moore stinks.
Let me tell you something. That was an ugly win.
It was. It was an ugly
It was an
win.
even uglier loss.
The worst part about this LSU team is their special teams, dude.
Yeah.
They are so bad. The turnovers are horrible.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. I will agree with you on that.
And it's something we're not used to seeing. Usually, we've had some pretty good return guys
Yeah.
over the years.
Yeah. But I think it comes back to something we've talked about before with the star power is that LSU always has that one guy who nationwide everybody's like, that's the guy. That's it. That's the dude right there. Like last year we had Derek Stingley, although he didn't play during the season, he goes number 3 in the draft.
Yeah.
We've had Odell. We've had Jarvis. We've had
Trendon Holiday.
you always pull these kinds of names.
We're
Brandon
talking about special
LaFell.
teams.
They've always had these guys on it, both on defense or offense as well as special teams who are difference makers. And this year, we're kind of trying to find that road right now, whether it be Malik Neighbors, Josh Williams, whoever the case may be that week. We're trying to find that guy who's going to be our difference maker.
It might even be a fullback that comes out of nowhere, like Reese's favorite, Jacob Hester.
Love me a good Jacob Hester. Love me a good Jacob Hester. Tennessee, on the other hand, coming off a hard-fought victory against Florida, only won that game by 5. It was their closest game all year. SEC matchup for them last week. They look vulnerable.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider Florida like a top dog team so far this year. They've been looking shaky since the start. So that kind of gives me some hope against Tennessee.
I'll tell you what, though. Anthony Richardson, dog. That guy's quick. That guy's an athlete. I'll tell you that much.
You know who else is a quick and an athlete?
Not
LSU's
Coy
quarterback, Jaden
Jaden
Daniels.
Daniels.
Speaking about Jaden Daniels, big move out of Jaden Daniels this week. He led a players-only meeting between the quarterback and wide receiver room. I think that speaks a lot to his character. I think he's doing a really good job of taking advantage of being in the light on an SEC team coming out of Arizona State last season. So I think that's a big step up for us, not only from a leadership position, but out of quarterback play that's been very inconsistent.
This was a past due meeting, man. Like all of their games so far, we've had struggles at the wide receiver position. Like they just cannot connect ball to hands. Well, it hits their hands, it just falls onto the field.
Yeah, they had 8 drops
So
last
like
week.
the drops is a big problem, and I think this meeting by Jaden Daniels shows that he's a leader, one, and that maybe we can hope to see some wide receiver improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm hoping for.
We're laughing.
Soundman's getting to it already.
LOL. He's okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. Anyway, yeah, they said a lot got figured out in this meeting. So hopefully Jaden Daniels can find that connection with Kayshawn Boutte, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas. We have playmakers at the wide receiver
We have the
position.
talent, no
We
doubt.
have talent. It's just, can we make that talent
We
work?
got to get the chemistry now.
Exactly. So let's get right into it. Let's get into LSU's keys to success this weekend. I think the first key to success is not letting Hendon Hooker get hot. For those who don't know, Hendon Hooker is the quarterback for Tennessee. He's a 5th-year player, and he is damn good. Hendon Hooker is awesome. 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns, almost 72% through the air right now. He's got 175 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. So he's another guy just like Jaden Daniels who can make it work through the air as well as with his legs. And the second he starts feeding, he doesn't stop. He gets hot, and once he gets hot, he doesn't cool down. So I think for an LSU defense, one that's we know is very good based on what they've been doing so far this season, we need to make sure he doesn't get on that roll. Keep him pressured, keep him on the move. Don't let him get hot.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about him that Jaden Daniels had a problem with at the start of the season is once he gets flustered, he makes his decisions way too fast. Like if he gets sacked one time and kind of loses their momentum, you'll see him throwing the ball a lot quicker and force some more drops, or just taking off way too soon. Pocket's still there and all that. But yeah, once he gets flustered, I've noticed that he falls apart mentally.
Yeah, like what I've seen, he either throws the ball way too early or way too late.
Yeah, it's finding the consistency for Tennessee, and that's a good thing for LSU because our defense has been consistent. We allowed a little bit up in that first half against Auburn, but we found ourselves. Didn't allow any points in the fourth quarter when we were going on that 21-0 run. As long as our defense keeps playing consistent and don't allow Tennessee's offense to outshow us, we'll be looking good. Our second key to success, apply what you learned in that players meeting we were just talking about. Don't take what you learned in this players meeting and throw it out the window. What they got something done, so you need to take what you got done and work on it and get it done on Saturday.
You said done a lot.
Done, dundly, done.
Dun 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 dun.
But yeah, I think Tennessee does have a shaky secondary. We've seen that through the recent games. So yeah, if LSU can get the passing game working early, I think we might be able to pull away with this.
Yeah, for sure. Byron, you want to give us our third key to success for the Tigers on Saturday?
It's one of my favorites for all of sports, and that's keep the penalties in check.
Yes, sir.
You've noticed with the Saints,
We'll get to them in a minute. Trust me.
We can really rack up those penalty yards,
Easily.
and LSU seems to find a way to do that too.
Well, must be a Louisiana thing. I don't know.
It's got to be.
But yeah, I agree. Keep the penalties in check and keep your composure. You're playing against a top 10 team. They're gonna score points. It's not like you're gonna go shut them out, and they're gonna play good defense. So just keep your composure. Keep the penalties in check. Don't let the pressure get to you, LSU. The moment is not too big. That's what I have written in all caps right here. The moment is not too big. All right, so we gave them some keys. Hopefully they listen in. Now let's get on to what we think the score is actually going to be. Let's let the guest go first. Lot, what's the final score on Saturday morning going to be?
Okay, so bear with me here.
I'm Baron.
I have your Louisiana State University Tigers. 28
Okay.
against Tennessee's 31.
Oh,
Look,
guy.
look.
It's fair.
I watched the game last week, and I watched the special teams. I watched the turnovers, the horrible, horrible turnovers. I saw that 17-0 lead that Auburn had, and I just don't see Tennessee washing that away.
that's perfectly fair. Like, I get it. I do.
Plus, every single week so far this year, I've had LSU. I'm like, they might lose that game. Like, even when they played Southern, I was like, they might lose to Southern, except for the very first game, which they lost. And then every other game, I was proven wrong. So maybe
Let's hope it continues.
Maybe going
yeah.
against my Tigers might be their recipe to get on their horse.
I like it.
It almost worked for us with the Saints last week.
Very close. Very close. It almost worked for us. So, Byron, you want to go ahead and give your prediction for this game?
Yeah, I've noticed y'all both have some pretty high scoring games. Mine's not that up there. I think it's going to be a defensive game for the most part, and then maybe towards the end, defenses will start to get tired, lose some coverages. I have LSU 24, Tennessee 17. Tigers take the win.
Hey, I'm perfectly okay with us taking a win. Whether it's defensive, offensive, I don't care. As long as we get the win. So Big B said, you must also control the ball and time of possession is key. I agree. Gotta keep the ball in our offense's hands. Keep the defense off the field. That way they're well rested to deal with that high-powered Tennessee offense.
Saints could learn a trick from that.
Reese said, I took the under on the year after that first game. Put them on the horse. Lot put them on. Okay.
That's a big horse.
Love you, Reese.
All right. Finally, my score prediction. I think it's going to be a little bit higher scoring. And I have the Tigers scoring 30 total points against Tennessee's 27. Both offense have been scoring a lot of points this year, but I don't think Tennessee's played a defense like LSU's yet. LSU has shown up
Yeah, that's
on
true.
defensively.
Plus, it's in Death Valley.
It is in Death Valley, and that crowd is going to be rocking. It does not matter if it's 11 a.m. or not. They're selling beer at 9 a.m.
Beer's on sale at 9 a.m. Yeah.
9 a.m. in Tiger Stadium. They're going to start selling alcohol. So you know people are going to be drunk and rowdy. I feel like the home field advantage is going to get us there. Tigers taking home the W. Let's move on from our Saturday game to our Sunday game. It's going to be the 1-3 Saints taking on the 2-2 Seahawks. That one's also at home. It's
If
going
you
to
would've
be in
told
the
me
dome.
that these two teams had these records at this point in the season,
I'd throw up.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no there's no reason the Seahawks should be 2-2, and there's no reason the Saints should be 1-3. That being said, I think this is a need to win game. And
yeah.
I know it's early in the season to say that, and it's against a team that's probably won't finish very high, but that's why it's a need to win game. Because if you can't beat the Seahawks, and you have a stretch of the season coming up later where we're going to be playing the Rams and the 49ers and the Bucks and the Ravens, those aren't easy to win games.
Well, we'll see how Tom plays for the rest of the season, being he's single now.
Shout out Tom.
Could either go, it can go one or two ways, in my opinion. It's either going to put a chip on his shoulder
And
and
he's
he's going to
yeah.
have an MVP season and win another ring, even though he just lost one.
Mm-hmm.
Or two, he's going to be depressed all season.
and not play at all. Yeah.
He'll be fine. That's the GOAT.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Resident
the GOAT.
resident Patriots fan over here.
I
Adam
have
Lott.
okay. To be fair, I am a fan of like 7 teams. especially my Bears.
And some of
All
them
right.
change every season.
Shout out
they
my
do,
Bears.
They do change every season. We're gonna get to the Bears a little bit later, just for you. So yeah, let's get into the Seattle Seahawks. Is it fair to say they're overperforming right now?
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Geno Smith is on a tear.
Geno Smith, most accurate quarterback through the first 4 weeks of an NFL season in NFL history.
Ooh.
77.3%.
Dude, they wrote him off and he didn't write back.
That's a fact. Geno Smith's actually outperforming Russell Wilson right now.
I knew that.
So who really won that trade?
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll. I like that. He's old though. Yeah, so Seahawks overperforming right now. They scored 48 points last week against my Detroit Lions. So, it's not a great look, but the Lions do have the worst defense in the league.
Lions have a garbage defense. Seahawks have a garbage defense.
That's why
There
I
was
feel
a
like the Saints
high-scoring
might be able to bounce back.
I know,
It's
but
in the Dome. We're at home. We're not in London anymore. We've got some home field advantage. Kamara should be back. He said he feels good. He feels ready to go. So hopefully he can get involved in the game. We don't know about MT and Jarvis yet. They were both questionable.
Kamara's playing though, right?
Kamara should be playing.
That's
Yeah.
what it seems like, right?
Yeah, he said he's healthy. He said he's ready to go. He said he feels good. So we'll have Kamara back this week. We still don't know about Jameis or MT or Jarvis. Hopefully we can get at least 2 of those guys. And by 2 of those guys, I'm hoping it's our 2 receivers. I liked how Andy Dalton looked in London.
I really liked it. Yeah.
I think he looked better than Jameis has all year. And whether that's on Jameis's injury or the chemistry or whatever, or Andy Dalton just being a better quarterback, no matter what it is,
I think it's the latter.
keep rolling with Andy right now, right?
Yeah.
We agree?
Yeah. I mean,
And dog.
Jameis has shown me absolutely nothing except for that fourth quarter against the Falcons. He's shown me absolutely nothing.
And that's
I don't-
completely fair to say. I would agree.
I think he's hurt right now, and I think that even adds on to the fact that he should not be playing right now.
No, he shouldn't. You got to give him time to heal, and then once he's healed, you give him another shot. And if he's perfectly healthy and still can't make it work, then we know he's not the guy.
I think he's trying to play. He's in his head too much. He's trying to play too safe. Like coming off that injury, the season-ending injury last
We got
season.
there. We got there.
Eventually. Coming off that season-ending injury last year, I think he's still a little shaken up by it. Like he's worried that he might get injured again. I think that's why he's been playing kind of iffy.
You know, you said it a few weeks back, like you touched on his confidence, and that kind of echoes what you're saying. Like he has not looked confident at all in any of the games.
No, he's looked like a baby giraffe. If we lose this game, the season is over for us Who-Dats, says Big B.
Look, I don't know if it's like over. It's a bad look for sure.
Yeah.
I think the season might have ended when Jameis came out and he looked really bad.
So that's the first game.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, if the Saints don't have a quarterback, then you can't play.
Yeah, I mean we're 1-3 right now. If we win this game, we're 2-3. There are so many teams that are 2-2 right now.
Definitely.
I think it's the most 2-2 teams ever through the first 4 weeks of an NFL year. So if we go to 2-3, some of those teams are losing. Some of those teams will be like, oh yeah, they're still going to make the playoffs. So if we have the same record as them, why can't we?
That's true.
But if we go to 1-4, that's a
It's
bad
tough.
look.
Yeah.
Especially
It's hard
with
to come
losses,
back from that.
especially with losses to the Seahawks and the
Panthers.
Panthers, and our only win being by 1 point against the Falcons.
yeah,
That's not a good look for the Saints.
they say you have to beat the bad teams, and the Saints just can't do that.
Yeah.
We're known for that too. We lose games we should blow opponents out by, but we win games.
That we have no business.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we gave keys to success for LSU. Let's do it for the Saints too. Lot, you want to give us a key to success, my boy?
Yeah, I'll give you one.
All right. What's your key?
Win the turnover battle.
That's a great key. That's a great key. That'll open any door.
Did you know that the Saints are 1-0 when winning the turnover battle?
And that makes us 0-3 when we lose it, right? That's math. So yeah,
What about when we tie it?
we haven't tied it yet.
What-
Great point though.
Do you know
we're
what-
0-0, so we're actually tied on that too.
Do you know what game it was that they won the turnover battle?
The Falcons game.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's why they're 1-0.
Oh wait, that's like the dumbest thing I've ever said.
I don't know about
I
ever.
don't know. We're gonna get into some hot takes later. But
Soundman Big B says key of the week:
key of the week.
beat the refs and we win.
Yeah, the refs do hate the Saints. I have this weird feeling that in about 10 years they're gonna have like some memorandum come out where they were like, yeah, we kind of screwed the Saints for a couple years. It was in retaliation for Bountygate and like
That's what I told my dad the other day. He was all mad about the refs, and I was like, "This is karma, man." You
no,
know,
it's not karma. Karma is like a happenstance. This is on purpose.
karma.
Okay, bud. Anyway,
I see it more of retaliation.
Hey, that's a great word. Word of the day: retaliation.
Okay.
Second key to success: make the run game beat you. Now, the reason I say this is because Geno Smith has been throwing the ball all over the yard, and he's been super accurate. Last week, Rashad Penny against the Lions had over 140 rushing yards.
Got off.
Yeah, he went off. However, the Saints have an amazing rush defense. They always do. I think from like over a 4-year period, they allowed like 3 100-yard rushers, which is insane.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the exact number, but it was something similar to that. The Saints are always top 5 rush defense in the league over the past 5 years. That's what they do.
It's our bread and butter.
Right. So if you can take away that short to intermediate pass game from Geno, because that's how he gets so many completions, and you make the run game beat you, I feel like the Saints have a really good shot because they're naturally so good at defending the run.
Definitely.
Do I get to do the last one?
Of course you get to do the last one. What are we even talking about?
So the last key to success we have is get your playmakers involved.
Darn right.
Hopefully all of our playmakers play.
Mhm.
Michael Thomas and Jarvis, Kamara. Yeah, I feel like they haven't been targeted as much as they should.
Especially Kamara. Kamara's getting like no targets out the backfield, and he's a receiving back.
Yeah, we went from Sean Payton, who is known for calling a lot of questionable screenplays.
Mm-hmm. We know how Lot feels about Sean Payton.
To I have not seen many screenplays this year.
There's not been one. I was
that-
talking about it the other day. There has not been a single screenplay that I've seen with my own 2 eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's been a couple here and there, but like, there's been no. It feels like all the screenplays aren't even running back screens; they're wide receiver screens.
Oh yeah.
where they're doing like some little fancy stuff with Chris Olave or Jarvis.
Yeah, I just don't know why we've decided to not give the ball to Alvin Kamara.
Who's our best player?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
Especially on the screen. Like, we've seen him do crazy things
Like that
on a
Packers game
screenplay.
a couple years ago.
Eric McCoy running like 20 miles an hour.
Oh, yes, sir.
like he just doesn't get enough touches or targets.
And it could
I
be
agree.
because they know he's still shaken up, still a little injured.
Yeah.
So I hope to see it change this week.
Hopefully, if he's healthy and ready to go this week, we give him the opportunity.
16 screenplays,
That's a lot.
If he's
16 touchdowns.
if he's not ready to go, Latavius Murray is that dog.
Latavius
No
Murray no
longer
longer
Not
plays
there.
for the
he's
Saints.
not there.
No.
I forgot.
Latavius Murray, unfortunately,
That's devastating.
is going to be playing tonight. He got signed to the
Broncos.
Broncos off of our practice
Look
squad.
out for him tonight.
Very unfortunate for the Broncos and Javonte Williams what
Oh, yeah.
happened.
Ugh, and unfortunate for one of my fantasy teams.
Soundman with another comment.
Oh, Soundman, what we doing?
Speaking of playmakers, that beard is on point there, Burger.
Yes, sir.
Is that
Look at
right?
that beard.
I try,
Yo,
man.
that stash kind of good too, Byron. You got the just a stash going
Got
on,
that-
no beard.
that Tim McGraw look.
Looking like a modern cowboy.
Where the mustache grows. Anyway, back to the Saints. We talked about our keys. Get your playmakers involved, make the run game beat you, win the turnover battle. If we can do those 3, I have us winning. Saints 30, Seahawks 23. I think the spread right now is at -5.5 for the Saints, so we'd be beating out that just by a little. But the Seahawks defense showed that they are not great, allowing 45 points to the Lions, who are the best offense in the league statistically right now. They are scoring the most points. However, I feel like the Saints can score some points on that porous Seahawks defense.
Good word.
It's a good word. Second word of the day.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Saints 30, Seahawks 23. Byron, what you got? Let's leave our guest for last.
So, I've noticed the Seahawks O-line
Mm-hmm.
has played a lot better than people thought they were. I think towards the beginning of the season, when they came out with like power rankings position-wise for teams, think they had them ranked at 28th, their offensive line.
That's not good.
And they've been playing very good against some very good D lines. But I think maybe, just maybe, the Saints might have a better D line than some of the ones they've played so far.
I would agree.
Therefore, I want to see a lot of pressure this game.
Let's
on
do
Geno.
it. Do it. Put
I
pressure
got,
on him.
I got the Saints winning 28-14.
That's a big number, my friend.
That's a lot of points. I like it though. I like it. Confidence. That's what we need right now. Mr. Lottober.
All right, guys. What are you laughing at, dude? I have your New Orleans Saints
Yep, that's mine.
at 24,
Okay.
and the Seahawks
Oh, no.
at 28. Look, man. This Seahawks offense is different. We were talking about Geno Smith and how elite he is this season.
Would you really think
particularly.
you'd be saying that in 2022?
Absolutely not. but now look at me. These Saints, look, the Saints offense is a modern atrocity. I've never seen anything worse in my life, maybe. That's what I'm saying, dude. And like, I don't think it takes a good defense to stop the worst offense I might have ever seen. So I think the defense for the Saints might struggle a little bit.
You don't think the
And-
offense stepped up a little last week against the Vikings?
They scored 25 on the
I
Vikings.
mean, they definitely did.
Vikings have a pretty good defense.
They're okay.
They got a lot of play-
Vikings?
they got a lot of playmakers on that defense.
But yeah, I think this will be a close one. I have the Seahawks edging it out, though.
I don't like that.
I know
I hope you have that same reverse psychology where, you know, like every time you bet on the Saints, they lose, but when you don't bet on them, they win. I hope you do that again this week.
I do not
'Cause-
have that same mentality. I think the Saints will lose this football game.
You hate to hear it. So you have both the Tigers and the Saints losing this weekend.
And for that
Yep.
reason, our sound man commented,
Mhm.
all right, Lot may have just banned himself from special guest status.
Lot, you're moving down. You're gonna have to make up for it.
Look, guys, you
Get the
can't,
beard bigger.
You can't.
Get the beard
You
bigger.
can't be a one-sided podcast. Now, like, you need that third guy.
We're not one sided. We had the Saints losing last week, both of us.
That's not one-sided. You both agreeing. Look at that.
Oh shoot, I guess you're right.
We normally disagree on a
We
lot of
do
stuff.
we do disagree
Really?
a lot.
We need some parity.
All right, you want some parity? Let's get to some bets. How about that? That we'll differ on some of those. I promise. So in case you watched our Monday episode, Byron and I each put together a parlay that we thought would hit. Neither of them hit.
No.
Blame that solely on Matthew Stafford
And Reese.
and we just blame everything on Reese. But yeah, Matthew Stafford stinks. That's basically the story here. Matthew Stafford stinks, so we didn't get a Cooper Kupp touchdown
Definitely.
Or Matthew Stafford yards.
or Matthew Stafford yards. George Kittle was 1 yard short of his 25 I needed. You know, he barely missed that touchdown where he got 1 foot in. So, you know, just a lot of things happened to where our parlays didn't hit, but we're past that.
And shockingly, Debo didn't put up 60 fantasy points.
No, he only put up like 25,
25.
like a normal amount.
Season
Season
high,
high.
by 10 points for him.
Yeah, well, shout out to Debo.
I hope
But,
he keeps doing that.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's not be so negative. Let's get into what's going to happen this weekend in the NFL. We're doing our Road Dog segment. Road Dogs, what?
What?
All right.
What?
Yeah, there we go. All right. So, in case you haven't seen us before, Road Dogs, we pick a team that is the betting underdog that is on the road. So, pretty self-explanatory. My Road Dog, if you've been watching us for a while, you know this is one of my favorite teams in the league. I've been betting on them since the beginning. My
Imagine that.
Detroit
He's going
Lions.
with the Detroit Lions.
Woo! TJ Hawkinson coming off the best game of his career.
That was a great game.
That was a
man.
great game. And you know what? You know what else is going to be a great game? When the Lions beat the Patriots
When
this
the
weekend.
Patriots beat the Lions, because TJ Hawkinson will never do that again in his
TJ,
life.
okay, so little snippet here. Patriots are 27th against tight ends this year in fantasy football. I know we're going to get into that into a minute.
Yeah.
But
You want to bring that up? Broncos were first in rush defense, and Josh Jacobs decided to put up 45 points.
Anyway, so we'll see. But yeah, I like the Lions, man. And so right now, Lions are at +3. You can get that at -105. So you'll be making almost your money back. But yeah, I would bet on it.
I think-
Lions Lions have been too good not to be winning games. Every game
Agreed.
they've played has been super, super close. Every game they've lost has been by 4 or less points.
And they played some pretty good teams.
They've played the
besides Seattle.
Eagles. They've played the Eagles, lost 38-35. They beat the Commanders pretty handedly, and then they lost to the Vikings by 4 and the Seahawks by 3. So every game that they're playing is always close, except for when they win. So I'm really hoping that they figure it out. They win this week, and I think even if they don't win, they'll keep it within 3 against the Patriots. So I'm going Lions at Patriots. That's my road dog.
I think that's a great bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Lot. I appreciate you,
I honestly don't see how they're underdogs playing against the Patriots.
Definitely.
especially with
it's
Mac
be-
Jones out.
It's because it's in
Bailey Zapp.
Foxborough.
It's
Bailey-
because it's Bailey Zapp.
Bailey's app stinks. Anyway, how about you give us your road dog?
Okay, here is my road dog. Quit barking at me. We got Steelers at Bills.
Okay,
The Steelers are plus 14.
that's crazy.
That's a giant number.
It is.
And that's the only reason that I like it.
Yeah.
The Steelers, I mean, their defense is moderate. So I don't think they're going to give up a trillion points.
Right.
Yeah, I think they have a better defense than most teams,
That's what I'm saying.
even with T.J. Watt out.
Definitely. So I think the Steelers stay within 14 undoubtedly, and that is minus 110.
Yeah, and in case y'all don't know, the road dogs is not somebody we're picking necessarily to win. It's just somebody who's going to cover the spread. So although I would take the Lions money line as well, we're talking about spreads here. So Lot's taking the Steelers to lose by less than 14 or to even win the game.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, Byron. Road dog.
I'm not proud of myself for this one.
You
But-
shouldn't be.
I think it's way too good to pass up. Cowboys at the Rams. I hate both of these teams. But the Rams just don't look good. And I think the Cowboys have kind of surprised people with Cooper Rush.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
Fair to say.
definitely
Yeah.
fair. Yeah.
Their spread is at plus 5.5
You know,
for minus 110. I could honestly, if I was looking at this without any lines, I'd probably say the Cowboys are going to win this game.
and I hate that because I hate the Cowboys.
I think
But,
the
like-
Rams fall apart when they play a good defense.
And not only that, but like 5.5 is a lot of points in the NFL right now.
Definitely.
Teams are there are teams that should not be winning games that are 3-1, aka the New York Football Giants. Like there's no reason they should be 3-1, but they are. So we can see teams win games that they shouldn't. So the Cowboys getting 5.5 points against the Rams, who haven't looked good.
It is
a lot.
It is a very competitive league this year.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of parity.
I don't think
For
any
sure.
team's counted out yet.
And no team is counted out, and I don't think there's any team that people can guarantee. I mean,
I know.
even the Bills are 3-1.
I
A
thought-
team you thought was literally going undefeated.
I absolutely thought that. I thought the Bills wouldn't lose a game. And then when they lost to the Dolphins, and then it was close against the Ravens, like it had me thinking, like, they could have lost.
They were down 2
both of
possessions
those
in
games.
in the fourth quarter.
Imagine they lost both of those games and are 500. The Bills. That'd be insane.
Shout out to the NFL.
Soundman's lock of the week.
Ooh, lock of the week.
Let's hear it.
We should make this a new segment.
Soundman's a very good better. We're gonna make this a new segment. Soundman, very good better. Whatever he says right now, go ahead and bet it.
He has lock of the week is tonight's game, Colts +3. So he's taking the spread
Yep,
and the under.
I love that.
Kind of love it.
I
Yep.
love it.
Yep, that's great.
Yep. And if you want higher odds, go Colts money line. I said it.
Colts are going to win this game.
Ooh. All right. Getting out of our bets, let's get into some fantasy football. Normally we do like an MVP of the week or like who do we think is going to go over or under their points. This week we're going to play a little big game. We got a special guest on. He loves to play some games. So we'll go ahead and play a little game. It's called Keep Trade Cut. We're going to give the other 3 players and they're going to say who they would keep, who they would trade, and who they would cut at this point in the fantasy season. So I'm gonna start us off, and I'll give you all 3 players. You tell me who you would keep, who you would trade, and who you would cut based on only what they've done this season.
Okay.
We're going Clyde Edwards-Helaire, number 4 running back on the season. Joe Mixon, number 18 running back on the season. Leonard Fournette, number 14 running back on the season. Who are we keeping? Who are we trading? Who are we cutting?
I'll go first. So first of all, I'm cutting Leonard Fournette. Simply because I'm not a fan of that guy. And I wouldn't.
Do you just not like LSU?
No, I do. I'm a big LSU fan. I don't like the way Leonard Fournette works in fantasy football,
That's fair.
right? So I'm cutting him.
Okay.
And then we have Clyde and we have Joe Mixon. And here's my thought behind this. I'm keeping Clyde. And I'm trading Joe Mixon simply because Joe Mixon is the bigger name. And some less advanced fantasy managers might not want to trade for Clyde over Mixon.
Yeah, that's
Mixon
fair.
is the bigger name. You'll
Mixon
get
was drafted higher too.
Exactly. You'll get more value out of Mixon.
I like that. Byron?
I think I got to follow him up and do the exact same thing because it just makes sense. I see it the same way he does. Fournette is a heavy power back in a passing offense.
He got -3 rushing yards.
Exactly.
Yeah, Reese.
So yeah, I'd also have to go with cutting Fournette, keeping Clyde, and trading Mixon. Same reason. Mixon, big name. People see that and they kind of jump the gun. You could probably get some value out of it right now. Offensive line, even though they upgraded, still notice that it's pretty shaky. And he does catch some passes, which brings up his potential. But I wouldn't consider Joe Mixon a pass catching back, at least from what I've seen so far. I mean, yeah, he could do it both. He's kind of a hybrid, but I like him just straight on the ground. Clyde, however, pass catching back in a pass catching offense.
Yeah. Fair.
Works well. He gets a lot of touches.
Yeah, just a touch. I'd agree with y'all on the cut, Fournette. However, I would trade Clyde and keep Mixon only from the sense that Clyde's way overperforming right now. I don't think he can keep it up. So this is going to be the highest his value. This is the highest his value is going to be. Go ahead and get as much out of him as you can.
That's
but
fair.
Y'all brought up good points. Lot. Give us our keep trade cut, man.
Okay, my keep trade cut has a little bit of a theme here.
Okay.
We're going wide receivers
All
with
right.
bad quarterbacks.
Okay.
Okay, so first we have Curtis Samuel.
He's been way
Playing great
overperforming
so far.
this year.
Definitely. And then we have Garrett Wilson.
Rookie.
And then finally we have veteran Brandon Cooks.
This,
That's a good mix. I like that. Byron, you want to go first?
yeah, I'll
'Cause I don't.
I'll touch on it first. This is pretty tough.
I keep him tough, man. I keep him tough.
So Curtis Samuel, he's the number one targeted receiver on that team
Definitely.
with Terry McLaurin and rookie Jahan Dotson, who played an outstanding week 1. Commanders haven't. It's hard to say that they haven't performed up to expectations, but I think that's just because they came out hot and they kind of fell off when they started playing better and better defenses. Garrett Wilson, he's kind of hit or miss. He's had some good games. He's had some bad games. And their quarterback room is just all messed up. Joe Flacco came in, played great. And then now Zach Wilson's back. Not playing great. Brandon Cooks, big name.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of potential.
Mm-hmm.
Very fast.
Very
Davis
old.
Mills.
But Davis Mills.
Yeah.
Not, at least from what I thought. I don't think. I also just saw what the sound man said.
Cut all
Cut
three,
all three.
says Big B. Byron, who are you keeping? Who are you trading? Who you
So I'm
cutting?
going to keep Curtis Samuel.
Okay.
I'm going to trade Brandon Cooks.
Cut Garrett
I'm going to
Wilson.
cut Garrett Wilson.
Wow.
I think
Wowza.
Mine.
I can get some value out of Brandon Cooks because of his name.
Definitely.
So mine is. We don't agree on any of them. I will let you know that now.
Ooh.
So I'm keeping Garrett Wilson. I loved Garrett Wilson coming in.
I mean,
out of the draft.
I love him as a player.
I think he's great. I think he's taking over that number one role for the Jets, which
could be bad for him.
it could be bad, but it also could be good in the sense that the Jets are going to lose football games, and when you're losing, you're
Throwing a
throwing
lot.
the ball.
Yeah.
So give me Garrett Wilson. He's going to get the targets. I don't think we're worried about the targets. He's put up a couple stinkers these past couple weeks, but I think he has the most potential to finish high at the end of the season. I am cutting. No, keep trading. I'm trading Curtis Samuel for the same reason I would trade Clyde. He is way outperforming what he should be doing, so I'm trading him at his highest value. What are we laughing at over there, Bar?
Reese.
LT L take. We are talking the Jets. Yeah,
Same man who has the Vikings in the Super Bowl.
Reese.
And-
We literally cut Garrett.
And I'll
Wilson.
be damned if Leonard Fournette doesn't hit 59.5 rushing yards this game.
Yeah, we don't trust a word you say, Reese Bordelon.
Dude, I
Speaking
can't.
about Reese, he will be on the podcast next week, so stick around and you'll see that.
I'm gonna have to tune in.
And then I'm my last guy. I'm cutting Brandon Cooks. He's 40th right now in receivers, and I don't see an upside where he's going to get any better per se. So there's no point in keeping him.
I agree with you. You know, I think Garrett Wilson is in a situation where they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. Then again, Curtis Samuel also is, but he is peaking so hard right now that I think if you don't trade him now, then you're not going to get as much as you will later on. And he's kind of mid otherwise.
I think with these Washington receivers, you just got to gamble on one.
Who's gonna have the
week,
good
yeah.
week? Yeah,
Definitely.
because
yeah.
they're really similar. All of them are very similar players. But Lottober, keep Trey Cut. Who you giving us?
I just gave you mine. This is all Byron.
Oh, you're right. From the names of it, it looked like Byron would have gave us that one, but this one's Byron's right here.
All right, you ready?
Who's your KTC?
Justin Fields, Carson Wentz, Baker Mayfield.
Oh, these are lots, guys.
Let me go first.
Please, I want you to.
Let's talk about my Bears. My Bears have kind of been bad. Their offense is horrible. They can run the hell out of the ball. I mean, watch Khalil Herbert and David Montgomery go crazy back there. But Justin Fields, dude, he cannot pass the ball. It is intense. So I am cutting Justin Fields no matter how much it hurts. Wow. Baker? I guess I'm keeping Baker because I don't think I'm getting anyone to bite on Baker. That's what I'm saying. So, like, I'll keep Baker and I'll trade Carson Wentz because maybe I'll get something for him.
That's fair.
Someone in need of a quarterback.
Yeah, Carson Wentz looked really good over the first 2 weeks. He had really good fantasy weeks. He was like top 5 fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, he was good.
He was number 2.
Yeah, like he would look really good fantasy wise, and now he looks like Carson Wentz again. But that's a fair point. I think I would keep Carson Wentz solely for the upside.
Okay.
I think he has the most talent out of the three,
Yeah.
and he has the most weapons out of the three. So based on that, he would probably be the best just to plug on a bye week. If you need a random quarterback to plug on a bye week, Carson Wentz wouldn't be your worst option. I'm trading Justin Fields because he's young, so people will probably bite on him. He has the most potential long term, so he would probably do better in a dynasty league. But even in a 1 year league, people would probably bite on him just a little bit. And then I'm cutting Baker because Baker stinks.
Yeah, I'd do the same.
Baker sucks, dude.
All right. Listen, it's time to stop putting it off. There's a reason we brought Mr. Lottober on here. As you can see by our attire today, Jersey Thursday. He's wearing a Marlins jersey. He's wearing a Cubs jersey. I'm wearing an LSU Tigers baseball jersey. Hey, Lot, who got you that Marlins jersey, bud?
That was all you, my brother.
And
Whose name is on the back of that Marlins jersey?
It is a Derek Jeter Marlins jersey.
let's go.
And I respect it because I love baseball management. I think it's a fun topic.
Yeah. All right, and then Byron, who got you that Cubs jersey?
Mr. Lottober did.
Wow. You know who got me this Tigers jersey? Me.
Let's go.
Anyway,
Self-made.
You don't have friends.
Self-made.
No, I don't. Mr. Lottober, it's baseball playoffs, and I know you're the baseball guy. It's what you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is October. Playoff baseball starts tomorrow. Literally tomorrow.
So soon.
Starts pretty early too. So we have 4 wild card games tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be a 3-game set for all 8 of these teams. We have
Jam-packed weekend, man.
Yeah. We have some wild card matchups. We have the Padres at the Mets, the Phillies at the Cardinals, the Rays at the Guardians, and the Mariners at the Blue Jays.
Okay.
I think these can be some very fun matchups, honestly. Like if we go look at Padres and Mets, like we can think about offense versus defense in my mind, because like in my mind the Mets are kind of like Titans in pitching. They have Jacob DeGrom.
What?
They have Max Scherzer.
What?
They have Chris Bassett.
What?
Those are the big three.
Okay.
What about Edwin Diaz?
They do have Edwin Diaz, Mr. Trumpet.
What?
But yeah, these Mets have been so unbelievably good. It is like really impressive, especially after in the offseason prior going after the free agents that they got. They had a great season. They ended up with 101 wins.
It's a lot of wins.
I know, dude.
And you
It's a
don't
lot of
like the
wins.
Mets.
You
if I
hate the
remember
Mets.
correctly.
I really don't.
Are the Mets your least favorite MLB team?
They are.
Okay.
They really are, but I have to respect what they've done on offense, what they've done on defense. I think the Padres are going to struggle. Absolutely. Like, I think that their pitching has been okay. Joe Musgrove has had an insane year. Blake Snell and Yu Darvish have had good second halves. But I think, and Josh Hader, he kind of figured it out, but I think they're just going to get overpowered in Queens. 3 straight games in Queens. So I don't think the Padres have what it takes to beat these Mets.
They had a huge. They acquired a huge asset.
Yeah,
this
mid-season
season.
trade from your Washington Nationals.
You're right.
How's he been doing?
He's been horrible.
Yeah.
Juan Soto.
Juan Soto got traded to the Padres, and he's been, oh my God, horrible. They stopped talking about him because he's been so bad. But I think all regular season statistics kind of go out of the window when it comes playoff time. You know what I mean?
That happens in every sport, it feels like.
Like it lets guys refocus, and they're looking at these 3 games. The rest of the season is out of the window. So I think we're looking at one of the best series this weekend.
Nice. I
And
love to hear that.
So like this should be one you watch because it'll be a lot of good pitching, a lot of good offense, and I have the Mets. I think the Mets win.
That hurts, doesn't it?
It does hurt. They were second in batting average and on base percentage in the entire league this year.
When you're getting on base and getting hits.
With that kind
it's
of
how
pitching, it's
It's how you're going to
hard
score.
to
It's
Yeah.
how you're going to win. Yeah, for
beat
sure.
a team like that.
And just to let y'all know, we have no bias in this because all 3 of our teams are not in the playoffs. I'm a Red Sox fan. He's a Nationals fan. I wonder what team he likes over there.
The White Sox.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. No, but yeah, all 3 of our teams are out the playoffs, so we have no bias in this. Let's set that straight.
Do you guys have any thoughts on these Mets or these Padres? I know our buddy Reese loves him some Padres.
Yeah, I don't know
Reese
why.
does love the Padres. Reese is a Padres
mean-
fan solely because of those uniforms.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say they're
It's
they're
only
a
because
f-
he saw some
They're
uniforms.
a fun team to back, but when you get down to it, I don't see him making it out of this round against the Mets. Like you said, that pitching, those numbers.
Those pitchers led the entire league in strikeouts.
Wow.
They struck out more guys than anyone else in the entire league.
Sounds about right. But
Just furthers my point. I think the Mets move on from this.
Yeah.
and
series.
I probably know the least amount of baseball out of us 3. I will admit that with no problem.
I didn't get that. Could you restate the question?
No, I cannot.
Siri's
Hey,
making a
Siri.
special appearance.
4th guest.
Siri likes the Mets.
But
Yeah.
Siri likes the Mets, Byron likes the Mets, Lot likes the Mets, and I like the Padres.
I knew he was going to do it.
I have to. This one's for you, Reese. I have no reason to pick the Padres. It makes no sense mathematically, statistically, whatever, to pick the Padres. They're not playing as good. But why not? I'll take the Padres.
I think that's one of the most beautiful things about baseball is that it doesn't have to make sense.
You know what?
Like good teams
what I like
lose.
to hear.
Good teams lose all the time, and like there's nothing like a good underdog story. So I would be happy if the Padres won,
All right, there we go.
but logically thinking I have the Mets. Okay,
I think baseball is the hardest sport to bet on
absolutely.
because
oh my God, I
there's
wouldn't
just
touch
so
it.
much. There's
I-
so many
I never
games in a
do.
season
I never do. All right,
that
let's look,
literally anything could happen.
let's look at this next series, Lot. What are we thinking?
Okay, and then we have the 87 win Phillies at the 93 win Cardinals.
Pretty close in wins.
Definitely. I mean, these Cardinals won their division, and the Phillies just snuck into the playoffs. They were trying to lose that playoff spot so bad. Like, they were on a cold, shivering streak.
Do you think it carries over to the playoffs?
Yes, it absolutely does. I flash back in 2019 because I am a Nationals fan. I remember the Nationals, they got so red hot. heading into that playoff into those playoffs, and then they beat the Brewers in the wild card, and I don't think there was stopping that team after that.
I think that's what baseball's all about: is who's hot and when are they hot.
Momentum is a serious factor.
Shout out to the 2018 Red Sox.
But yeah, these Phillies haven't had an okay season. I mean, they had Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. They had some really good seasons. Those two. Their star Bryce Harper, former National, he had a big injury, so they missed him. But he's back, which is a big deal. They had Kyle Schwarber. He was the home run leader in the National League. He
Former
Cub,
Cub,
former National,
former Red Sox. Love it.
We love Kyle Schwarber.
We're all big Kyle Schwarber guys
We're each gonna get a jersey.
Kyle Schwarber
for the other person's team.
Kyle Schwarber hit 46 home runs this year. It's no Aaron Judge 62,
Not the
but
record.
46 is a big old number. Yeah, that is not the record. But yeah, I think the Phillies are an okay team, but I don't think they stand a shot against these Cardinals. The Cardinals simply put are awesome. I have written in my notes here, I love this team. Even though I don't like them as a franchise,
Yeah.
but I love the team
Me neither.
from bottom to top. They are a beautifully structured team, fundamental team. Paul Goldschmidt will be the NL MVP.
You gotta win a game when you got the MVP on your team,
That's
right?
what I'm saying. Paul Goldschmidt will be the NL MVP, and Nolan Arenado will be the runner-up. So those guys have been batting back-to-back in the same lineup all season, and they're going to finish first and second in MVP voting.
That's crazy.
That's kind of insane, isn't it?
That's insane. You're right. That is insane.
Their pitching is okay. It's not amazing or anything.
I think
but,
that's their weakness.
Definitely. I think their hitting is going to be nice. I think they're so well-rounded that their fundamentals are going to win them this series. They led all of baseball in fielding percentage. Can you believe that? That's an amazing stat. I mean, last year, the Cardinals, they won 1 million Gold Gloves. But yeah, I like the Cardinals. I think they have the most fun story out of the two because they both have pretty fun stories. The Phillies, they haven't been to the playoffs in 11 years. But the Cardinals, they have Albert Pujols,
What?
who just passed Babe Ruth in RBIs,
Wow.
who just hit over 700 home
700.
runs. That's a big number, guys.
That is big.
They have
a
Adam,
long time, too.
Yeah, in the last season of his career, they have Adam Wainwright in the last season of his career, and they have Yadier Molina in the last season of his career, and they're fighting at their last shot for a championship. So I like these Cardinals. I think they're gonna do well against these Phillies, and I think it'll be a good game against the Braves if they win.
I also have the Cardinals. Wainwright and Yachty have. Is it true that they are the most the pitcher and catcher, the most games thrown together as a pitcher and catcher duo?
I think so. Yes.
I think I saw that stat that Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina have the most pitcher catcher duo games in MLB history. That chemistry is crazy. And like you were saying, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado. I like the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm a Cubs fan, so it pains me to say this a lot, but I also have the Cardinals winning this
you
game.
just wait until we get to the AL. Takes from a Red Sox fan.
All right, so I think we unanimously had the Cardinals. I think that's the right pick, fellas.
All right, let's move on.
We have the 86 win Rays versus the 92 win Guardians. First season in Guardians history, and they won the division. How
Used to be the
exciting is
I-words.
that? I am labeling this series the Moneyball series
Ooh,
because both
good movie.
It's
Great
a great
movie.
great movie.
Top 10 all time.
Both of these teams are towards the bottom of the league in payroll. They rarely pay their guys.
Okay.
Know what I mean?
Yeah. Like the Athletics.
Yeah.
from Moneyball.
yeah. They're making playoff pushes with a really low payroll. So they're not the Dodgers, they're not the Yankees, they're not these guys
Super
who are
teams.
That's what I'm saying. They're not spending all of this money to make their team. It's
No
home-
luxury tax spent on those teams.
Definitely, it's homegrown. It is traded
song.
for. It is gritty. It's beautiful baseball. But yeah, the Rays are an anomaly. I mean, their payroll has always been towards the bottom of the league, but they keep winning like year after year.
Made the World Series just a couple years ago.
Yeah, I mean, their biggest problem this season was that they're in the same division as the Yankees, who started off really hot. And the weird thing about the Rays is that they're towards the very bottom of the league in hitting, but they're top 5 in almost every pitching category. Those Rays can pitch, dude. Like Shane McClanahan, Daniel Rasmussen, and that's just their 2 big starters. Their bullpen is nutty, dude.
Deep.
Nutty. Deep. So, yeah, I mean, these Rays are good, and these Guardians are sneaky.
Sneaky.
They're sneaky, dude. They won their division, and no one had them winning their division. Like the White Sox are favorite.
Oh, my preseason prediction was White Sox to.
Oh, you know what? It
go to the
might
World
have been the
Series.
Twins that were favorited, but I had the White Sox winning it.
Yeah.
That division.
Oh, speaking
feel
about the Twins, Shaw BP in the chat. Shout out Shawnee. He's a Twins fan.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Shawnee, big Twins guy. Your Twins did not make the playoffs. I hate it for you.
Yeah, I feel like that division was so weird at the beginning of the
Definitely,
season.
definitely.
Like I don't know how else to put it.
They have a lot of middle grade teams in that division. Like even the Guardians, I mean, people are going to call them bad, like compared to the other playoff teams. But I think they've been okay. I think they are going to be able to compete in these playoffs. Like actually, I think this will be a good series against the Rays. They have a great pitching staff. They have Shane Bieber, Tristan McKenzie. He's super young. He's super good. Cal Quantrill. Those 3 guys have been awesome. James Karinchak has
That's
finished.
a tough name.
I know, has finished great, and Emmanuel Clase might be the best closer in Major League Baseball. So, like, in that offense can get hot. They have Jose Ramirez on that team. Don't forget that.
Yes, sir. Just got a bag, huh?
Yeah, that was one of the. It was big. It was a big shock because no one expected them to pay their guys,
Yeah.
right? So it was really interesting. I want the Guardians to win. But I like the Rays. I think the Rays are just winners. They've done this a few years, and the only thing holding them back is their horrible offense. But I think their pitching should be able to hold out.
Okay, fair enough. This one's a toss-up for me. Like I said, I probably know the least amount about baseball, but I think the Guardians are just a good story. You know, the Rays are a good story too. But I'm a Red Sox fan, division rival. We played them last year in the playoffs and beat them. Nobody expected us to, and guess what? It's going to happen with the Guardians. The Guardians are going to beat the Rays.
Yeah, we've seen the Rays do it before. You know, kind of coming out of left field, making it to the playoffs, and then making a World Series push.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, like Lottober said, their pitching is just very good.
And that's after losing pitchers in the past couple of years. I mean,
Yeah, I mean Trevor Bauer. I mean in 2019 he left to the Reds, won a Cy Young there, and then he
Blake
went to the
Snell, right?
Dodgers, and then he got suspended for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like he had that's a crazy story, but he was really good.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great guy, and there was Mike Clevenger. Like their rotation has always been good.
yeah.
Yeah, and so coming off of that, I got the Rays winning this game because even though their bats aren't hot, I feel like they can scratch a few runs and their pitching will back them up in the following innings.
Okay.
Fair take, fair take. In the last game that we have tomorrow, we have the Mariners. Oh, by the way, the winner of the Rays Guardians series plays the big bad Yankees. So we'll see what happens there. I don't know if they can beat the Yankees.
Yeah, I don't
but
think
we'll
either of
see.
those teams can beat the Yankees.
We're gonna get into that in a minute. Trust me.
Okay.
Okay, Red Sox fan.
Next we have the 90-win Mariners at the
I love
90
the Mariners.
at the 92-win Blue Jays. Like this is going to be a great series, guys.
I'm just gonna say real quick that Mariners call when they made the playoffs off the walk-off. That might have been the most beautiful call I've ever heard in baseball
Oh,
history.
dude, it was so good.
The most excited I've ever heard an announcer for his team. That was beautiful.
I'm trying to remember the guy's name, the Seattle broadcaster. I can't at the moment, but it really is beautiful the way he calls baseball. These Mariners have a great story. They last made the playoffs in 2001.
That's a long time.
Right? This team can hit.
I was born in 2001.
I know.
That's crazy.
They have Julio Rodriguez, superstar. Made his debut this year. He's going to be the Rookie of the Year in the American League, if you were wondering. And then at the trade deadline, they went and got Luis Castillo, probably the best
That's a good name.
pitcher on the market, and that's kind of beautiful. He's been great for them. And then we have these Blue Jays. They've been weird because everybody had them being like amazing, right? And they had to take a step back because they were kind of struggling. Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. kind of struggled at times.
Yeah, they've been in a few slumps.
Definitely. I mean, Bo at some time was batting like 220, but like he kind of figured it out towards the end. I mean, he's batting like 270 now. I don't have the exact number, but it's around that. And Vlad is also batting 270. He has 30 home runs. Like they've kind of figured it out, but they've struggled seriously at times. Their hitters are intense, but their pitching is kind of questionable. I mean, they have Alek Manoah, who's been great, and Gosman's been okay. Gosman was great with the Giants last year, but he's kind of taken a step back after that. The bullpen stinks. Their bullpen is horrible, man. Like they just haven't been great. But like even so, I like the Blue Jays simply because they are in Canada. Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Home team advantage,
home team advantage. All three,
especially
of these,
when you're Canadian.
That didn't click for me at first. I thought you just really liked Canada.
No. All three of these games are in the Rogers Center. Honestly, if the 3 games were in Seattle, I would pick Seattle because they're hungry, dude. I mean, this is their first playoffs in 20 years. And that, I mean, if it was in Seattle, I would take the Mariners huge, but I think the Jays will out-hit the Mariners in the long run, and I expect a high-scoring series out of this one, guys.
I like that. I also have the Blue Jays winning. Again, no particular reason. I just know more names on the Blue Jays, therefore I think it means something.
Fair enough.
I think the Mariners are just too hot right now.
I would be so happy to see the Mariners go on a run.
Me too.
I would
Me
love it.
too.
I would love it.
Like, I'm not saying they're going to make it far, but I do think they advance from the wild card. I
Good.
think they just have all the momentum in the world. I think they're a more well-built team than the Blue Jays, especially with the Blue Jays stars kind of being in and out of slumps this season.
Definitely.
For sure.
The winner of this series plays the Astros. They had the best record in the American League, so I think it's a rough go. But I think if they can, it's any given game. You know, they say any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday.
Yeah, they say any given Sunday for
Any
football.
given baseball game.
I think any given baseball game is a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Teams are hot or they're not. Like it's a real thing.
Yeah.
So
Especially in the playoffs.
those are the 4 games that we have tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. And I have a few final thoughts on these 4 games. I just said look for the home team in this wild card round to win a lot. You know, home field advantage is a real thing in baseball, and these games will be a 3 straight series in the same stadium every time. So the team has home field advantage for all of these games.
Yeah.
And I just think home field teams will win most of the time.
That's fair.
Yeah, I find in baseball, home field advantage is probably like way more important than in other sports. Like football field's the same size. Basketball, court's the same size. Baseball, the field is not the same size.
That's very true.
True.
That's a great point. I've never even thought about that.
It's serious. Y'all want to get to some brackets?
Let's get to some brackets, man.
Let's get to some brackets.
All right, so let's go round by round.
You want to go round by round, or do you want to go like all the way at once?
You're Mr. Lottober. I'm not telling you what to do.
Take it over.
Mr. Lottober, do what you want, man.
Lottober,
Okay,
take the
okay,
wheel.
okay.
In case y'all can't tell, this is the biggest baseball mind I've ever met. Like, I wish I had this much knowledge about one thing.
Thank you, man. We can go round by round. Just keep track with what.
Of who you, I've
who
got
you're
all
doing.
mine written down.
Okay.
So we should be good here. But yeah, so wild cards, we can go over those again.
Okay.
So-
Let's start American League.
'Kay.
Okay. Let's start Mariners Blue Jays.
I have the Blue Jays.
I also have the Blue Jays.
I have the Mariners.
Okay.
Rays Guardians.
Rays.
I also have the Rays.
I have the Guardians.
Let's go over the National League. We have Phillies Cardinals. I have the Cardinals.
Cardinals,
Cardinals.
unfortunately.
And then we have Padres Mets.
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 Padres.
Let's head back over to the American League. We have the number 2 seed Yankees versus whoever we picked.
Yeah.
I have the Yankees playing the Rays.
As do I.
I think
It's gonna be tough to beat the Yankees.
yeah, it's hard, dude. The Yankees led the league in home runs. I mean, I'm taking the Yankees.
I'm also gonna take the Yankees in that one.
So I have Yankees versus Guardians in this series because I went ahead and picked them. But
You're dumb.
either way, I have the Yankees winning it. Doesn't matter who they play. I think the Yankees are going to win it. And I hate the Yankees. Least favorite team in the MLB. Still picking them to win.
Soundman's a fan of the Yankees.
I don't care what Soundman's a fan of. Yeah, you heard that.
Let's head down to Bryce's favorite team, the Houston Astros.
Literally could not be a worse 1 and 2 than the Yankees and the Astros.
I have the Astros playing the Blue Jays, and I think the Astros win that game.
I also have the Astros playing the Blue Jays, and I do not have the Astros winning. I have the Blue Jays moving on
That's
to the
crazy.
ALCS to face
Okay.
the Yankees.
See, I have the Mariners winning in the wild card.
Mhm.
I think if a team could beat the Astros, it would be Seattle
Let's
because of how hot they are.
That's important, man.
pick them.
But-
Do it.
But
Do it.
Don't say but. Pick them.
Do it.
One of us has to.
Peer pressure.
I think the Astros will win.
Thought I could do it. Didn't work.
Even though I love the Mariners this postseason.
So we've got 2 Yankees Astros in the ALCS and 1 Yankees Blue Jays.
Yeah.
All right.
And then in the National League, I have Braves Cardinals.
We all have the Cardinals.
This is gonna be such a great series.
I think this
though.
is gonna. I think this one might go to 7.
This is gonna be such a great series. I think the Braves are too deep to lose to these Cardinals though. Like their pitching staff is insane, and that's not talking about like all of their hitting. They have Matt Olson, Austin Riley, Michael Harris. Like they have all of those guys. Ozzy Albies is back. So like they have a lot going on. I have the Braves winning this one.
I also do.
And make that 3. I also have the Braves.
All right, we all think the Braves are going to be in the NLCS. Let's move on to these Dodgers. I have them playing the Mets. I think this will
Me
be.
too.
I think this will be an okay series. I love the Dodgers in this series. I don't love the Dodgers actually,
I hate the Dodgers.
but I think the Dodgers are going to perform so well in this series because they've been insane. Let me read you some statistics on how the Dodgers fared this season. These Dodgers were first in the entire league in on-base percentage, ERA, WHIP, OPS, RBIs, runs, and batting average against, and that's not all of it.
That's crazy.
They-
First in all those categories.
They won 111 games. I have the Dodgers winning this series and moving to the NLCS.
Well, I gotta have one hot take. I don't know if it's my hatred for the Dodgers
Okay.
or if I just got a funny feeling about this one. But I think the Mets. See, I don't think the Padres could beat the Dodgers, but I do think the Mets have a chance.
Definitely.
It's fair.
So I'm gonna take the Mets.
Nice.
Fair enough. I have the Padres beating the Mets, so the Padres would be facing the Dodgers here. And like I said right before the podcast, I was talking to Mr. Lottober here. I said the Dodgers own the Padres.
Yup.
Like they just do. It doesn't matter
They
how
got enough
good.
money to actually own them.
It doesn't matter how good either team is. The Dodgers always find a way to beat the Padres, and that's not going to change in the playoffs. I have the Dodgers winning, and it might be a sweep.
Rip Reese.
Wow. I don't
Sorry,
know.
Reese, but yeah, Dodgers going on to the NLCS.
I think the fact that the Mets were stuck. Oh no, you were talking about the Padres.
I was talking about the Padres.
Let me,
can
move
talk about
ba-
the Mets.
let me move back to these Mets a little bit.
I'm not a Mets fan, but I mean, when they're playing the Dodgers,
I think the fact that these Mets got stuck in the wild card is really big. Like they gave up that division lead to these Braves, and that's such a serious thing because while in the wild card, you're gonna have 3 back-to-back games and then like a 2-day break, and then you're going again. Like so, one of your guys is not gonna be able to pitch.
Yeah.
Like they have DeGrom, they have Scherzer, they have Bassett. Like those guys, their pitching staff is their pride and joy. Like they love their pitching staff, and if you take one of those guys out, that's how less dangerous they are.
Yeah.
So like them in the wild card is really dangerous.
I like that. That's knowledge, and I love it. It's good to know.
Let's move back to the American League.
Okay.
I have Yankees Astros. It's kind of disgusting. The 2 favorites. Give Give me the Astros. They're just too good. Their pitching staff is too great
Yeah.
to
They're good,
to
man.
lose to these Yankees, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that one. Bryce,
So
You got the Blue Jays.
I
man.
have the Blue Jays and the Yankees in the ALCS. Y'all both have the Astros and the Yankees, and you both have the Astros moving on. I don't even have the Astros there, so they can't move on for me. So this is definitely going to be different.
clearly that's how brackets work.
Hey, the more you know. So I have Yankees versus Blue Jays, 2 AL East opponents. That doesn't include my Red Sox. So
Huh.
which one do I hate less? The Blue Jays.
Is that who you're picking?
That's who I'm picking to go to the World
Wow.
Series. I have the Blue
These
Jays.
Blue Jays.
Vlad and Bo are about to pop off in these playoffs. Kevin Gausman's going to find himself. I think he was like one of the top 3 favorites in the AL to win the Cy Young before the season started. He's going to find himself in the playoffs. I feel good about these Blue Jays for some reason. I've got them making the World Series.
That's weird
Nice.
because when I look at these teams, probably the last team I would guess to make the World Series. If I'm being honest,
That's the beauty of baseball, baby.
it really is.
Let's head back to the National League. I have the Braves and the Dodgers, the 2 favorited teams again. I look like a rookie picking all these favorites. But I'm taking oh my god. I just think the Dodgers are too good this year. 111 wins, like I said. I think it's the most wins in Dodgers history.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken.
And that's from a
be.
good franchise.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they are top 5 in wins in a single season ever. So, like, I think they're going to be serious, and I think they're going to make the World Series. I think it's going to be a rematch in 2017.
I have Mets, Braves.
That's Braves.
Division.
I'm gonna have to go with the Braves.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
They're going back.
That's
Won it last year.
That's a World Series rematch for you. Braves, Astros.
Okay. So I also have the Braves and the Dodgers at this point.
Yep.
And, before the podcast, again, we were talking a little bit about this, just sharing some thoughts. I said last year the Giants won the most games in the MLB. Is that true?
I believe so. They won 107 games. That
Yeah.
sounds right.
Yeah. So I think the Giants were the number 1 seed going into the playoffs last year, and then they got bounced.
Definitely.
Oh yeah,
This year, the Dodgers are the number 1 seed.
I think they're
We
getting
know
bounced.
the Dodgers never live up to the hype they're supposed to.
Of course.
Like they don't, like they've won 1 World Series, but it feels like the past 6 years the Dodgers are always the favorites.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guess what? They're gonna do it again. Braves going back to the World Series. Dodgers are gonna lose it in the NLC, and I'm not saying it's gonna be like a blowout. Like the Braves are gonna beat the crap out of them. I think it's gonna be close. The Dodgers are definitely gonna win some games in there, but I've got the Braves going back to the World Series.
Wowza. We have some interesting World Series here.
We do. We
Okay.
do.
So Byron, you have
a rematch.
Braves Astros. I have Dodgers Astros, and Bryce has Braves Blue Jays.
There we go, baby.
I love that so much.
Thank you.
In mine, Dodgers Astros. I'm taking the Dodgers. I just don't think they're gonna lose. Like,
That's completely fair.
They've been too good all year to lose. Like, this is one of the best teams I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes, and I don't think I can ignore that.
That's completely fair. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers win it all. I'm not a guy who wants to take scratch, so I'm gonna take hot takes. And in baseball, I can do that because I don't know anything.
Definitely.
Our sound man
Mhm.
has his own take.
What's Soundman saying?
He's saying, and I'm gonna ask him to comment who he thinks is gonna win this. But
Okay.
he has the Subway Series.
Ooh,
Yankees versus
Subway
Mets.
Series. That would do numbers.
that'd be so fun.
That
That would
would-
be so fun.
That would be a good one.
I don't like
and-
either of those teams, and that would be so much fun.
And honestly, it would not that it would completely downplay, but it would almost downplay home field advantage to where you could travel to the other stadium without
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah, definitely.
Literally by the subway.
So Byron, who are you picking?
Yeah, that's what I thought. He said, following up on the Subway Series,
He'd take the Yankees, right?
he said, "Dumb question, Yankees."
Yeah, he's a Yankees fan, which they're all delusional anyway. So
Bryce Byron, who are you picking to win the World Series?
So
fellas?
I have the rematch,
yeah,
mm-hmm.
last year.
and I think it goes the other way.
Wow.
I think if they see each other this year in the World Series, I think the Astros They got a little vengeance built up. They want a rematch. I think they'll take it.
The Astros are so good, dude.
Y'all easily picked the 2 best teams to make and win the World
We
Series.
definitely did. Yeah.
You did. I mean,
The
there's a
one
reason
seeds.
they're the number 1 seeds.
Yeah.
You know who's not the number 1 seed?
The Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays or the Braves. Neither one. And that's what I have in the World Series.
Who's winning, Bryce?
So I was talking to my buddy at LSU, Caden, today, and he's from Atlanta.
He's stalling.
Okay.
He's from Atlanta. He's a big Braves fan. He thinks they're repeating. And honestly, I got to disagree with him.
Ooh.
I'm going Blue Jays to win the World Series. You heard it here first. Lot, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. In 2019, before the playoffs started, unbiasedly, did you think the Nationals would seriously win the World Series?
Absolutely not.
In 2018, I'm a big Red Sox fan. You know this. I did not think the Red Sox would actually win the World Series. Who thinks the Blue Jays are going to win the World Series? Like, who actually thinks that?
Apparently you do.
I do.
The Vikings.
No, the Blue Jays. So I have the Blue Jays winning the World Series this year. It's not a team that anybody else is picking, but it seems to never go that way in sports. The favorite never wins somehow, some way. And the Blue Jays aren't the favorite. They shouldn't be the favorite.
Definitely not the favorite.
And I still have them winning. Give me the Blue Jays to win it all.
Wow. So me and Byron picked 2 favorites, and Bryce
Picked
picks
a
the
4
Blue
seed.
Jays. I love you
He
for
goes
that.
and does.
So yeah, so we've got
We're gonna end on that one.
we've got Astros there, we've got Dodgers here, we've got Blue Jays here. It's an interesting group for sure.
Faux show.
Mr. Lottober, thank you so much for coming on, man. we
Dude,
had a great time.
Dude, I had such a blast.
You bring incredible energy.
I
I,
know.
Yeah, I love
promise him, and I promise everyone watching, this is not his last time on.
Yeah, we'll
I
definitely
will
get
be
him
back
back
on.
once
I
once
am-
the wild card games are
Oh,
done.
dude, he's got to be back on. This is the best episode we've had yet,
Oh,
for sure.
I am so blessed. I am so privileged to have friends that would let me on a podcast
Dude,
like
no,
this.
no,
This
dude.
is so beautiful.
Anytime, man. We love Lot here,
I get
Mr.
to talk,
Lottober.
I get to talk baseball with my bros. How about
Yes, sir.
that?
Yes, sir. Real quick before we head out,
What are we getting for dinner to watch this game? Lot, you coming?
I don't think I can.
oh, this guy.
I hate
Anyway,
it, but I don't think I can.
talking about this game, we're talking about Thursday Night Football tonight. Colts versus Broncos. Off the dome, that's what we're called. So right now, off the dome, who's winning tonight's game? I'm going Colts.
Colts, easy.
We've got Colts winning tonight. If you want to bet, put it on them. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the Off the Dome Sports Podcast with Bryce
Byron.
and Mr. Lottober. Thank you for coming on, man. We really appreciate you. Thank you for watching in Radio House Studios, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. If you're listening on New Rock Radio, thank you so much, newrockradio.us. Again, we want to thank Fatties for being a sponsor. We appreciate you. And boys, this was a great time.
Let's go.
Let's do it again
Always.
sometime. And by let's do it again, I mean we will be back. Next week, it'll be me and Byron with another
Wednesday?
special guest on Wednesday. That one will
This
come
will be
at
a new
7
sport.
p.m.
New
It'll be a
sport.
new sport we haven't talked
Haven't
about
touched.
yet. We've talked about football. We've talked about basketball. We've talked about baseball. This one is we
Wonder
have
what it
not
could be.
talked about. We're going to save that surprise for Wednesday. So you got to make sure you tune in on Wednesday. Radio House Studios, newrockradio.us, 7 p.m. on Wednesday. We'll be back. Thanks one more time. We
Thank
appreciate
guys.
you, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
And we appreciate everyone listening. And thank you so much. This has been the Off the Dome Sports Podcast. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next time.
Have you ever had the feeling that you was being had? Don't touch you, that make you mad. They treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through their teeth, hope you slip up off your